The unexpected arrival. The crystalline spires of the Galactic Academy of Advanced Sciences pierced the lavender sky of Xenon 7, their iridescent surfaces reflecting the light of 3 suns. The sprawling campus bustled with activity as students from 1,000 worlds hurried between classes, their diverse forms a testament to the vast array of sentient life in the universe. Professor Zixlorn, a respected quantumite scholar with a shimmering, gaseous body, drifted through the halls of the administration building. His usually calm aura pulsed with agitation as he approached the office of Dean Pontorus, an imposing centaurian known for his no-nonsense approach to running the most prestigious learning institution in the galaxy. "Enter," rumbled the dean's voice as Zixlorn's tendrils brushed against the door's sensor. The professor flowed into the room, his gaseous form coalescing into a more defined shape out of respect for the dean. "Esteemed Dean Pontorus, I must express my concerns about the unusual decision the board has made." The centaurian's 4 eyes focused on Zixlorn, his expression unreadable. "You refer to our new student, I presume?" "Indeed," Zixlorn's voice crackled with static. "A human dean, here at our academy. It's unprecedented. Their species has barely mastered interplanetary travel, let alone the advanced concepts we teach here." Pontorus leaned back in his specially designed chair, his powerful equine body shifting slightly. "The decision was not made lightly, Professor. The Galactic Council believes it's time to extend an olive branch, as the humans would say. But, sir, their civilization is primitive compared to ours. They still wage wars among themselves. How can we expect one of them to keep up with our curriculum?" The dean's lower set of arms tapped a datapad on his desk. "This particular human has shown potential. Her name is Sarah Chen. She single-handedly developed a rudimentary quantum communication device using salvaged parts from a crashed Zeta Reticulan scout ship. The Council believes she represents the best of what humanity has to offer." Zixlorn's form rippled with skepticism. "One lucky breakthrough doesn't qualify her for—" A chime interrupted their conversation. "Ah," said Pontorus, "that would be our new arrival now." The door slid open, revealing a small bipedal figure. Sarah Chen stepped into the office, her dark eyes wide with wonder as she took in the alien forms before her. She clutched a battered backpack to her chest, her knuckles white with nervousness. "Welcome to the Galactic Academy of Advanced Sciences, Miss Chen," Dean Pontorus said, his translator converting his words to English. "I trust your journey was comfortable." Sarah swallowed hard, clearly struggling to find her voice. "Ah yes, thank you, Dean Pontorus. The ship was incredible. I've never experienced anything like it." Zixlorn drifted closer, his curiosity overcoming his initial reservations. "You are the first of your kind to set foot on Xenon 7, human. How does it feel to be so out of your element?" Sarah's eyes darted between the gaseous professor and the center-like dean. A small smile tugged at the corners of her mouth. "Honestly, it feels amazing. Terrifying, but amazing. I've dreamed of this moment ever since I first looked up at the stars as a child." The professor's form shimmered, surprised by the human's articulate response. "You understand the gravity of your situation, yes? The coursework here is far beyond anything taught on your world." "I do, Professor." Sarah paused, realizing she didn't know his name. "Zixlorn," the quantumite supplied. "Professor Zixlorn," Sarah continued, her voice growing stronger. "I know I have a lot to prove, but I'm here to learn, to push myself beyond what I thought possible. I want to show that humans are capable of more than you might think." Dean Pontorus nodded approvingly. "Well said, Miss Chen. Now, let's get you settled in your quarters. Your orientation will begin tomorrow at first light." As Sarah followed the dean out of the office, Zixlorn found himself reevaluating his initial judgment. Perhaps there was more to this human than met the eye. The next morning, Sarah stood nervously in front of her first class, Advanced Quantum Mechanics and its Applications in Faster-Than-Light Travel. The lecture hall was filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes, their curious gazes fixed on the lone human in their midst. Professor Sixlorn materialized at the front of the room, his gaseous form swirling with complex patterns. Today, his voice resonated through the hall. We begin our exploration of 11-dimensional quantum strings and their role in bending space-time. Sarah's mind reeled as the professor launched into a lecture that made her most advanced physics classes on Earth seem like kindergarten finger painting. She furiously scribbled notes, determined not to fall behind on her very first day. Beside her, a gelatinous being with multiple eye stalks leaned over. "Don't strain yourself, human," it burbled quietly. "No one expects you to keep up." Sarah gritted her teeth, ignoring the alien's condescension. She raised her hand, surprising both the professor and her classmates. "Yes, Miss Chen." Sixlorn's voice crackled with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Professor, I was wondering if the principles you're describing could be applied to create a form of quantum entanglement that spans multiple dimensions simultaneously." A hush fell over the lecture hall. Sixlorn's form pulsed rapidly, a sign of excitement in his species. "An intriguing question, Miss Chen. In fact, that very concept is the subject of cutting-edge research by our senior quantum theorists. Perhaps you'd like to elaborate on your thoughts." As Sarah began to explain her idea, drawing on her work with a crashed alien ship back on Earth, she felt the atmosphere in the room shift. The disdainful looks from her classmates slowly transformed into expressions of grudging respect and, in some cases, genuine interest. By the end of the class, Sarah had engaged in a lively debate with the professor and several of her alien classmates. As they filed out of the lecture hall, the gelatinous being who had initially dismissed her eased closer. "I may have underestimated you, human," it admitted, its eye stalks swiveling to focus on her. "I am Glotthor. Perhaps we could study together sometime." Sarah smiled, extending her hand before realizing the gesture might not translate across species. "I'd like that, Glotthor. And please call me Sarah." As the days turned into weeks, Sarah found herself settling into a routine at the academy. The coursework was incredibly challenging, pushing the limits of her understanding, but she thrived on the intellectual stimulation. She spent long hours in the vast library, absorbing knowledge from across the galaxy. However, not everything was smooth sailing. In her xenobiology class, Sarah struggled with the practical examinations. Her human senses were simply not equipped to detect the subtle chemical signals many alien species use to communicate. After a particularly frustrating lab session where she failed to diagnose a simple hormone imbalance in a vegan tree squid, Sarah slumped against a wall in the corridor, fighting back tears of frustration. "Hey, you okay?" a melodious voice asked. Sarah looked up to see a tall, willowy alien with iridescent skin and delicate, butterfly-like wings. "Oh, hi, Lyria," she said, recognizing her classmate. "I'm fine, just feeling a bit out of my depth." Lyria's antennae twitched sympathetically. "We all have our strengths and weaknesses. I've seen you run circles around everyone in quantum physics. Maybe I could help you with xenobiology." "You do that?" Sarah asked, surprised. Many of her classmates still kept their distance, unsure how to interact with a strange human in their midst. "Of course," Lyria chirped. "Besides, I could use some help with temporal mechanics. That class makes my head spin. Literally. My species gets temporal vertigo." Sarah laughed, feeling her spirits lift. "It's a deal. Thanks, Lyria." As they walked together towards the cafeteria, discussing the finer points of interspecies biology, Sarah felt a warmth in her chest. She was making friends, real friends, among the stars. The semester progressed, and Sarah found herself excelling in many of her classes. Her unique human perspective often led her to approach problems in ways her alien classmates hadn't considered. In her advanced engineering course, she stunned the professor by jury-rigging a malfunctioning antimatter containment field using principles derived from Earth's primitive fission reactors. However, her success was not without its drawbacks. A small group of students, led by a haughty Arcturian named Zar Khan, seemed to resent her growing reputation. They went out of their way to exclude her from study groups and social gatherings. One day, as Sarah was leaving the quantum computing lab, she overheard Zar Khan talking to his cronies. "It's not right," he hissed, his scaled skin flushing with anger. "This human doesn't belong here. She's making a mockery of our traditions, our advanced civilization." Sarah's heart sank, but she squared her shoulders and walked past them with her head held high. She wouldn't let their prejudice deter her from her dreams. Later that evening, as she sat in her room reviewing her notes on wormhole dynamics, her communicator chimed. It was a message from Dean Pontorus, requesting her presence in his office immediately. Anxiety gnawed at her as she made her way across the moonlit campus. Had she done something wrong? Were they going to send her back to Earth? As she entered the dean's office, she was surprised to see Professor Zixlorn there as well, his gaseous form agitated and swirling rapidly. "Miss Chen," Dean Pontorus began, his tone grave, "we've received a communication from Earth that we believe you need to see." Sarah's breath caught in her throat as the dean activated a holographic display. The image of a haggard-looking human official flickered into view. "To the esteemed leaders of the Galactic Academy," the man began, his voice tight with stress, "we regret to inform you that Earth is facing a crisis of unprecedented proportions. A quantum anomaly has appeared in our solar system, threatening to destabilize the very fabric of space-time. We don't have the technology to address this threat. We humbly request any assistance you can provide." The message ended, leaving the room in stunned silence. Sarah's mind raced, processing the implications of what she just heard. Dean Pontorus turned to her, his 4 eyes filled with concern. "Miss Chen, I understand this must be difficult news to receive. However, we called you here because we believe you may be uniquely positioned to help." Professor Zixlorn drifted closer. "Your understanding of both human and advanced alien technologies, combined with your unconventional problem-solving skills, may provide insights our experts lack." Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. The fate of her homeworld, perhaps even the entire galaxy, could rest on her shoulders. It was a weight she never expected to bear when she first arrived at the academy. Taking a deep breath, she looked up at the dean and the professor. "I'll do whatever I can to help. Where do we start?" As the first rays of Xenon 7's triple suns peeked over the horizon, Sarah Chen prepared herself for the greatest challenge of her life. The human girl who had come to learn from the stars now found herself in a position to potentially save them. The adventure was only beginning. A human's unconventional approach. Sarah Chen stood before the Galactic Academy's crisis response team, her heart racing as she faced the skeptical gazes of the galaxy's brightest minds. The holographic display behind her showed the ominous quantum anomaly threatening Earth. "With all due respect," Sarah began, her voice steadier than she felt, "I believe our conventional approaches are too limited. We need to think outside the box." Professor Zixlorn's gaseous form rippled with curiosity. "What do you propose, Miss Chen?" Sarah took a deep breath. "Instead of trying to close the anomaly, what if we redirect it? Earth's mythology speaks of cosmic bridges, what we now know as wormholes. If we could manipulate the anomaly's quantum structure, we might be able to transform it into a stable wormhole, potentially linking Earth directly to more advanced regions of space." The room erupted in murmurs. Dean Pontorus leaned forward, his equine body tense. "It's unprecedented and incredibly risky." "But brilliant," interjected Lyria, Sarah's winged friend. "It solves 2 problems at once, Earth's isolation and the immediate threat." As debate raged, Sarah caught sight of Zar Khan, the Arcturian who had opposed her presence at the academy. To her surprise, he nodded slowly, a grudging respect in his eyes. "I volunteer to assist," Zar Khan announced, shocking the room. "The human's plan is audacious, but it just might work." With unlikely allies and the stakes higher than ever, Sarah prepared to embark on a mission that would either save her homeworld or doom it entirely. The true test of humanity's potential was about to begin. The Quantum Gambit, The massive hangar bay of the Galactic Academy's research vessel, Cosmic Voyager, bustled with activity. Sarah Chen stood at the center of the organized chaos, her eyes darting between holographic displays and the array of alien technology surrounding her. The ship, nearly the size of a small moon, housed some of the most advanced scientific equipment in the known universe. "Final systems check complete," announced Lyria, her iridescent wings shimmering as she fluttered between control panels. "We're ready for departure, Sarah." Sarah nodded, trying to quell the butterflies in her stomach. It had been 3 standard galactic weeks since she proposed her audacious plan to transform the quantum anomaly threatening Earth into a stable wormhole. Now, after endless simulations and heated debates, they were about to put theory into practice. "I still can't believe the Council approved this mission," muttered Zarkon, the Arcturian who had unexpectedly volunteered to join the team. His scaled skin glistened under the hangar lights as he calibrated a complex array of quantum stabilizers. "Neither can I," Sarah admitted, offering a small smile. "But I'm glad you're here, Zarkon. Your expertise in quantum field manipulation is crucial to our success." The Arcturian's eyes narrowed, but there was a hint of warmth in his voice when he replied, "Just don't make me regret this, human." Professor Zixlorn materialized beside them, his gaseous form swirling with excitement. "The Cosmic Voyager is ready for launch. Remember, we'll be pushing the boundaries of known science. Stay alert and be prepared for anything." As the team boarded the ship, Sarah felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. The fate of her homeworld, and potentially the stability of this entire sector of the galaxy, rested on the success of her plan. The journey to Earth's solar system would take several days, even with the Cosmic Voyager's advanced propulsion systems. Sarah spent much of the time fine-tuning their approach, working closely with a diverse team of alien scientists assembled for the mission. On the 3rd day of their voyage, as Sarah was deep in discussion with Lyria about the finer points of multidimensional quantum entanglement, an alarm blared through the ship. "Unidentified spatial distortion detected," called out Globthor, the gelatinous being who had become one of Sarah's closest friends at the Academy. His eye stalks swiveled wildly as he analyzed the readings. It's like nothing I've ever seen before." Sarah rushed to the main viewport, gasping as she saw the fabric of space itself seeming to ripple and tear before them. Streaks of impossible colors blilled through the rift, defying the laws of physics as they understood them. "By the 5 moons of Centauri," breathed Dean Pontorus, his 4 eyes wide with astonishment. "What is that?" Professor Zixlorn's form pulsed rapidly, a sign of intense concentration. "It appears to be a naturally occurring quantum fissure." "Fascinating. I've only read about such phenomena in ancient texts." Sarah's mind raced, connecting dots that others might miss. "Wait a second. This could be related to the anomaly threatening Earth. If we can study this fissure up close, it might give us crucial insights for our mission." Zarkon hissed in disagreement. "That's far too dangerous. We should go around it and stick to our original plan." But Sarah was already moving, her fingers flying over the ship's controls. "We might not get another chance like this. Sometimes you have to take risks to make breakthroughs." Before anyone could object further, Sarah guided the Cosmic Voyager closer to the quantum fissure. The ship shuddered as it entered the anomaly's outer field, alarms blaring warnings of rising tachyon levels and fluctuating gravity. "Sarah, what are you doing?" Lyria cried, her wings buzzing with anxiety. "Trust me," Sarah replied, her eyes fixed on the swirling chaos before them. "Everyone, start gathering data. Every bit of information could be crucial." As the ship penetrated deeper into the fissure, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Crew members reported seeing impossible shapes and hearing colors. Sarah felt her own consciousness expanding, touching the very edges of comprehension. Suddenly, a burst of energy surged through the ship, overloading systems and sending sparks flying from consoles. Sarah was thrown from her seat, her head slamming against a bulkhead. As darkness crept into the edges of her vision, She saw a series of equations and diagrams flash through her mind, information that seemed to come from the fissure itself. When Sarah regained consciousness, she found herself in the ship's medical bay. Luria hovered nearby, her antennae twitching with concern. "What happened?" Sarah groaned, sitting up slowly. "You've been unconscious for nearly a day," Luria explained. "The quantum fissure. It did something to the ship, to all of us. But you got the worst of it." Sarah's eyes widened as memories flooded back. "The equations. Quick, I need something to write with." Ignoring the protests of the medical staff, Sarah began scribbling furiously on a datapad, transferring the strange knowledge that had been imparted to her by the fissure. As she worked, Professor Sixlorn and Dean Pontoris entered the room. "Miss Chen," the dean began, his tone a mixture of concern and reproach, "your actions were incredibly reckless. You endangered the entire mission and crew." But Sixlorn interrupted, his gaseous form pulsing with excitement as he examined Sarah's equations. "Incredible. These formulae, they're far beyond our current understanding of quantum mechanics. This could be the key to stabilizing the wormhole." Sarah looked up, her eyes bright with determination. "Exactly. The risk paid off. Now we have a real chance of saving Earth." Over the next few days, as the Cosmic Voyager continued its journey, Sarah worked tirelessly with the science team to integrate the new knowledge into their plans. The equations she had received from the quantum fissure provided insights into the very nature of spacetime, allowing them to refine their approach to manipulating the anomaly threatening Earth. Zarkon, who had initially been skeptical of Sarah's impulsive decision, found himself impressed by her intuition. "I must admit," he said grudgingly as they pored over simulations together, "your human unpredictability has its advantages. Though please, don't make a habit of flying us into unknown phenomena." Sarah grinned. "No promises. Sometimes the greatest discoveries come from taking the untrodden path." As they approached the outskirts of Earth's solar system, the mood on the ship grew tense. Long-range scans confirmed that the quantum anomaly had grown, its chaotic energy threatening to tear apart the very fabric of space around the planet. "It's worse than we thought," Globthar burbled, his gelatinous form quivering with anxiety. "At this rate, Earth has less than 48 hours before total quantum destabilization occurs." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. The home she had left behind, filled with billions of lives and millennia of human history, was on the brink of annihilation. Failure was not an option. "All right, team," she said, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "This is what we've prepared for. Let's run through the plan one last time." As Sarah outlined their strategy, utilizing a combination of conventional alien technology and the advanced quantum theories she had gleaned from the fissure, she could see the mix of doubt and hope on her teammates' faces. What they were attempting had never been done before. "The key," Sarah explained, pointing to a holographic representation of the anomaly, "is to initiate a cascading quantum entanglement at these 7 focal points simultaneously. This should create a self-reinforcing feedback loop that will reshape the anomaly's structure, transforming it into a stable wormhole." Lyria fluttered nervously. "And you're sure this won't just make things worse? We could end up collapsing the entire solar system into a singularity." Sarah met her friend's gaze steadily. "I won't lie, there are risks, but I believe in this team, and I believe in the science. We can do this." As the Cosmic Voyager entered the solar system, the true scale of the crisis became apparent. The quantum anomaly loomed before them, a writhing mass of impossible geometries and coruscating energy that dwarfed the planet it threatened. Earth itself was visible beyond the anomaly, a blue marble suspended in space. Sarah felt a lump in her throat as she gazed at her homeworld, remembering the family and friends she had left behind to pursue her dreams among the stars. "Beginning approach vector," announced Zarkon, his clawed hands dancing over the ship's controls. "Quantum stabilizers at maximum output." Sarah took a deep breath, centering herself. "Initiate Phase 1. Deploy quantum resonance probes." A series of sleek, teardrop-shaped devices shot out from the cosmic Voyager, streaking towards predetermined points around the anomaly. As they reached their positions, they began to pulse with energy, creating a complex web of quantum interactions. Phase 1 complete, reported Thor. Resonance field is stable. For now. Good, Sarah nodded. Prepare for Phase 2. Lyria, begin charging the tachyon emitters. As the ship maneuvered into position, alarms suddenly blared. Energy spike detected. Zarkon hissed. The anomaly is reacting to our presence. The view screen filled with a blinding flash as tendrils of quantum energy lashed out from the anomaly, battering against the cosmic Voyager's shields. The ship shuddered under the assault, systems flickering as they struggled to compensate. Shields down to 60%. Lyria called out, her wings a blur as she worked to reroute power. We can't take much more of this. Sarah gritted her teeth, her mind racing. The anomaly's reaction was more violent than they had anticipated. They needed to act fast, or all would be lost. Change of plans, she announced, her fingers flying over the control panel. We're initiating all phases simultaneously. Zarkon, charge the main deflector array to maximum. Thor, prepare for full spectrum quantum pulse on my mark. Sarah, that's too risky. Professor Zix-Lorn's gaseous form swirled agitatedly. The calculations haven't been fully vetted for a simultaneous deployment. We don't have a choice, Sarah replied, her voice firm. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts. Everyone, brace for impact and stand by on my command. As the crew scrambled to enact Sarah's desperate plan, she closed her eyes for a moment, visualizing the complex quantum interactions at play. In her mind, she saw the equations from the fissure, understanding on a fundamental level how to reshape reality itself. Opening her eyes, Sarah Chen, the human girl who had dreamed of the stars, prepared to attempt the impossible. Now, she shouted. In that instant, the combined power of alien technology and human intuition was unleashed upon the quantum anomaly. The cosmic Voyager became the focal point of energies beyond comprehension, channeling forces that could reshape the very fabric of space-time. For a terrifying moment, it seemed as if the universe itself held its breath. Then, with a silent explosion of light and energy, the anomaly began to transform. The chaotic maelstrom of quantum instability slowly coalesced, taking on a new shape, a swirling vortex of stable space-time, bridging Earth to the far reaches of the galaxy. As the light faded and the ship's systems stabilized, a stunned silence fell over the bridge. Sarah stared at the view screen in awe, scarcely believing what she was seeing. Where once there had been a threat of cosmic proportions, now hung a shimmering portal, Earth's first permanent connection to the wider galaxy. We did it, Lyria whispered, her antennae quivering with emotion. Zarkon's scaled face broke into a rare smile. Correction. The human did it. Sarah Chen, you've just changed the course of your species' history. As congratulations and cheers erupted around her, Sarah felt a wave of emotions wash over her. Joy at their success, relief for her homeworld's safety, and a deep sense of pride in what they had accomplished together. Professor Zix-Lorn drifted closer, his gaseous form glowing with admiration. Miss Chen, in all my centuries of teaching, I've never witnessed anything quite like this. You've proven that humanity has far more potential than any of us realized. Sarah smiled, her eyes still fixed on the image of Earth, now safely beyond the stable wormhole. This is just the beginning, she said softly. For humanity, and for all of us, the greatest adventures are yet to come. As the cosmic Voyager prepared to make history as the first ship to officially travel through Earth's new gateway to the stars, Sarah Chen knew that her journey, and humanity's journey, among the cosmos was only just beginning. Ripples across the cosmos. The return of the cosmic Voyager through Earth's newly created wormhole was met with a mixture of awe, excitement, and trepidation. As the massive research vessel emerged in Earth's orbit, it was immediately surrounded by a flotilla of hastily assembled human spacecraft, their crude designs a stark contrast to the sleek alien technology. Sarah Chen stood at the viewport, her heart racing as she gazed down at her home planet. After months among the stars, seeing Earth from this vantage point was both familiar and utterly alien. Incoming transmission from Earth, announced Globthor, his gelatinous form rippling with excitement. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the face of a stern-looking woman in a military uniform. This is General Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Defense Force. Unidentified vessel, state your intentions immediately. Sarah stepped forward, taking a deep breath. General Rodriguez, this is Sarah Chen aboard the Galactic Academy research vessel Cosmic Voyager. We come in peace, bearing news of great importance for humanity. The general's eyes widened in recognition. Sarah Chen, the prodigy who disappeared 6 months ago. What in God's name is going on up there? Over the next few hours, Sarah and her alien teammates engaged in a whirlwind of explanations and negotiations with Earth's leaders. The revelation of advanced alien civilizations and humanity's sudden thrust onto the galactic stage sent shockwaves through every level of society. As the Cosmic Voyager docked at the hastily repurposed International Space Station, Sarah prepared for her first step back onto human territory. Dean Pontoris placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, his center-like form towering over her. "Remember, Miss Chen," he said gravely, "you now stand as a bridge between two worlds. The future of human galactic relations may well rest on your shoulders." Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle upon her. As the airlock cycled open, she took a deep breath and stepped forward to face the barrage of cameras and officials waiting to greet her. The following weeks were a blur of debriefings, press conferences, and tense negotiations. Sarah found herself thrust into the role of humanity's de facto ambassador to the stars, trying to navigate the complex web of interstellar politics while also helping her own species come to terms with their new reality. One evening, as she sat in her temporary quarters at a high-security facility, Sarah received an unexpected visitor. Zarkon, the Arcturian scientist who had initially doubted her, requested a private audience. "I must admit, human," Zarkon began, his scaled skin shimmering under the artificial lights, "I had my doubts about you. But what you've accomplished, it's unprecedented." Sarah smiled tiredly. "Thank you, Zarkon, but I couldn't have done it without the team. We all played our part." The Arcturian's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "Perhaps, but it was your unique perspective, your human intuition combined with advanced knowledge, that made the difference. And that concerns me." "What do you mean?" Sarah asked, suddenly alert. Zarkon leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "The Galactic Council is in an uproar. Some see humanity's sudden leap forward as a threat. Others view your species as a potential asset to be controlled. There are whispers of containment measures." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "Containment? But we've done nothing wrong. We saved Earth, created a stable wormhole." "Exactly," Zarkon interrupted. "You've demonstrated capabilities that took other species millennia to develop. It's making a lot of powerful beings very nervous." As Sarah processed this information, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red emergency lights bathed the room as a voice came over the intercom. "Security breach in Sector 7. All personnel, enact Protocol Omega immediately." Sarah and Zarkon exchanged a worried glance before rushing out into the corridor. Chaos reigned as human security forces clashed with shadowy figures wielding advanced energy weapons. "Mercenaries," Zarkon hissed, pulling Sarah behind cover as a blast of energy scorched the wall where she had been standing. Likely hired by one of the more conservative factions in the Galactic Council. Sarah's mind raced. They're after the wormhole research. If they get their hands on it, they could destabilize the portal, cutting Earth off from the galaxy again. Zarkon finished grimly. Making a split-second decision, Sarah grabbed Zarkon's arm. "We need to get to the data core. I have an idea, but I'll need your help." As they navigated the labyrinthine facility, Dodging firefights and evading capture, Sarah outlined her plan. Using a combination of Earth's fledgling quantum technology and the advanced knowledge she had gained at the Galactic Academy, she believed they could create a decoy database to throw off the attackers. Reaching the data core, Sarah and Zarkon worked feverishly, their fingers flying over holographic interfaces as they constructed an elaborate false trail. Just as they finished, the doors burst open, revealing a group of heavily armed mercenaries led by a towering, insectoid alien. "Step away from the console, human," the leader chittered, its mandibles clicking menacingly. Sarah raised her hands slowly, her heart pounding. "It's too late. The data has already been transmitted to a secure location. You've failed." The insectoid's compound eyes gleamed with fury. "Then we'll just have to take you instead. Your knowledge will fetch a high price on the black market." Just as the mercenaries moved to seize them, a brilliant flash of light filled the room. When it faded, Sarah was astonished to see Professor Six-Lorn materializing before them, his gaseous form crackling with energy. "I think not," the professor's voice resonated, carrying an undercurrent of power Sarah had never heard before. With a wave of his tendrils, the mercenaries were engulfed in a quantum field, frozen in place. "Professor," Sarah exclaimed, "how did you—" "No time to explain," Six-Lorn interrupted. "We must secure the wormhole. There are forces at work here beyond your imagination, Miss Chen." As they raced towards the control center housing Earth's side of the wormhole apparatus, Sarah's mind whirled with questions. How had the professor known they were in danger? What other secrets was the Galactic Academy keeping? Reaching the control center, they found Lyria and Globthor already there, frantically working to stabilize the wormhole as it fluctuated dangerously. "Sarah," Lyria cried, her wings buzzing with relief. "Thank the cosmic harmonies you're safe. We intercepted communications indicating a plot to collapse the wormhole." Sarah rushed to the main console, her fingers dancing over the controls as she assessed the situation. The attackers had initiated a cascading quantum disruption that threatened to tear the portal apart. "We need to counteract the disruption," Sarah said, her mind racing. "But a standard approach won't be enough. We need to think beyond conventional physics." As the team worked frantically to save the wormhole, Sarah had a flash of inspiration. Drawing on the strange, almost mystical knowledge she had gained from the quantum fissure during their earlier mission, she began implementing a solution that defied traditional understanding of space-time. "Sarah, what are you doing?" Zarkon asked, his eyes wide as he watched the incomprehensible equations flowing across the screen. "Trust me," Sarah replied, her voice distant as she focused on the task at hand. "Sometimes you have to embrace the impossible to achieve the extraordinary." As Sarah's unorthodox solution took effect, the wormhole's erratic fluctuations began to stabilize. The swirling vortex of energy coalesced, taking on a new, more vibrant appearance. "Incredible," Professor Six-Lorn murmured, his gaseous form pulsing with excitement. "You haven't just stabilized the wormhole, Miss Chen. You've enhanced it. Its capacity and stability have increased tenfold." As the immediate crisis passed, Sarah slumped in her chair, exhausted but triumphant. She looked around at her alien friends, Lyria, Globthor, Zarkon, and Professor Six-Lorn, feeling a surge of gratitude for their trust and support. "We did it," she said softly, "but I have a feeling this is just the beginning of our challenges." Six-Lorn drifted closer, his form shimmering with an air of mystery. "Indeed, Miss Chen, your actions here have sent ripples across the cosmos. The balance of power in the galaxy is shifting, and humanity is now at the center of it all." Sarah stood, her exhaustion giving way to determination. "Then we'll face whatever comes next together. Human and alien, we're stronger united than divided." As the team prepared to address the aftermath of the attack and the implications of Sarah's enhanced wormhole, a transmission came through on the emergency channel. It was Dean Pontorus, his usually stoic expression marked with urgency. "Professor Six-Lorn, Miss Chen, You and your team must return to the Galactic Academy immediately, the dean said, his voice grave. The council has called an emergency session. The future of Earth's place in the galactic community hangs in the balance. Sarah exchanged glances with her companions, seeing her own mix of apprehension and resolve mirrored in their alien faces. Whatever trials lay ahead, they would face them as one. As they prepared for their return journey through the enhanced wormhole, Sarah took one last look at the blue marble of Earth shining in the viewport. She had left her home as a curious student, eager to explore the cosmos. Now she was returning as something more, a bridge between worlds, a catalyst for change, and perhaps the key to humanity's destiny among the stars. With a deep breath, Sarah turned to her team. All right, let's go make history, again. As the cosmic Voyager entered the shimmering portal, Sarah Chen and her diverse crew of aliens and humans embarked on the next chapter of their incredible journey. The galaxy was changing, and they were at the heart of it all. Little did they know that their greatest challenges, and most astonishing discoveries, still lay ahead, waiting for them in the vast, mysterious expanse of the cosmos. The Galactic Crucible. The journey back through the enhanced wormhole was unlike anything Sarah Chen had ever experienced. The cosmic Voyager seemed to glide through a kaleidoscope of impossible colors and shifting geometries, covering vast distances in the blink of an eye. As they emerged on the other side, the familiar spires of the Galactic Academy loomed before them, their crystalline structures glittering against the lavender sky of Xenon 7. Home sweet home, Globther burbled, his gelatinous form quivering with a mix of relief and apprehension. Sarah couldn't help but smile at the sentiment. In the months since she'd first arrived at the academy as a wide-eyed human student, this alien world had indeed become a second home to her. But now everything felt different. The weight of recent events hung heavy in the air. As the cosmic Voyager docked, Sarah and her team were immediately ushered into a secure transport. Dean Pontorus was waiting for them, his center-like form tense with urgency. The situation is grave, the dean explained as they sped towards the heart of the academy. Your actions on Earth have sent shockwaves through the galactic political landscape. Some see it as a threat, others as an opportunity. The council chamber is in an uproar. Sarah's mind raced, but surely they understand we were acting to save Earth, to stabilize the wormhole. Professor Zixlorn's gaseous form pulsed with concern. It's not that simple, Miss Chen. Your enhancement of the wormhole technology has upset a delicate balance of power. Some fear that humanity, with its unpredictable nature and rapid advancement, could destabilize millennia of established order. As they entered the Grand Council chamber, Sarah was awestruck by the diversity of alien life forms gathered there. Representatives from thousands of worlds filled the tiered seats, their murmurs creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and otherworldly sounds. At the center of it all stood the High Arbiter, a being of pure energy contained within a hovering, opalescent sphere. Its voice, when it spoke, seemed to resonate directly in Sarah's mind. Sarah Chen of Earth, the High Arbiter intoned, silencing the chamber. You stand before this council at a pivotal moment in galactic history. Your actions have demonstrated humanity's potential and its danger. Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding, but her voice steady. Honored Arbiter, esteemed members of the Council, I come before you not just as a representative of Earth, but as a student of the Galactic Academy. Everything I've done has been in pursuit of knowledge and the greater good of all sentient life. A ripple of murmurs swept through the chamber. An avian being with iridescent feathers rose from its perch. And yet, it trilled. In a matter of months, you've advanced wormhole technology beyond what took other races centuries to achieve. How can we trust that humanity won't use this power irresponsibly? Before Sarah could respond, Zarkon stepped forward, his scaled skin gleaming under the chamber's lights. If I may, council members, I was once skeptical of the human's capabilities. But I've witnessed firsthand her ingenuity, her adaptability, and most importantly, her commitment to cooperation between species. Humanity's unique perspective could be an asset to us all. The debate raged on, with various council members arguing for and against Earth's continued involvement in galactic affairs. Some called for the immediate closure of the wormhole, effectively quarantining humanity. Others saw potential in carefully controlled cultural and technological exchange. As the arguments grew more heated, Sarah felt a strange sensation building within her. The quantum knowledge imparted by the mysterious fissure seemed to pulse in her mind, expanding her awareness. Suddenly, she could perceive the intricate web of quantum entanglements connecting every being in the chamber and beyond. With a clarity she'd never experienced before, Sarah understood the true nature of the crisis facing the galactic community. It wasn't just about Earth or wormhole technology. It was about the fundamental nature of cooperation and progress in a vast, diverse universe. Sarah stepped forward once more, her voice ringing out with newfound confidence. "Esteemed Council, I believe we're looking at this situation from the wrong perspective. The question isn't whether humanity is a threat or an asset. It's about how we, as a galactic community, adapt to change and growth." She gestured expansively, her words painting a vision of the future. "The universe is vast and full of wonders we've yet to discover. By working together, humans, Arcturians, Quantumites, and all other species, we can achieve things none of us could alone. Our differences are our strength, not our weakness." As she spoke, Sarah became aware of a subtle shift in the quantum field surrounding her. The entanglements between council members seemed to strengthen, resonating with her words. "I propose," Sarah continued, her voice growing stronger, "a new initiative. A collaborative effort between Earth and the Galactic Academy to explore the frontiers of science and culture. We'll share our knowledge openly, learn from each other, and face the unknown together." The chamber fell silent as her words sank in. Then, slowly, a low hum began to build. It started with Lyria, her wings vibrating in a sign of approval. Globthor's gelatinous form rippled in harmony, followed by Zarkon's deep, resonant growl. Soon, beings throughout the chamber were adding their voices to the growing chorus of support. The High Arbiter's sphere pulsed with intense light. "An intriguing proposal, Sarah Chen of Earth. But how can we ensure that this collaboration will not lead to further disruption?" Sarah smiled, feeling the quantum connections strengthening around her. "By embracing disruption as a catalyst for growth, we'll establish protocols for responsible research and development. More importantly, we'll create a diverse ethics committee with representatives from all member species to oversee our work." As the council deliberated, Sarah turned to her friends. Luria's antennae quivered with excitement, while Globthor's eye stalks swiveled in amazement. Even Zarkon nodded approvingly, a rare smile on his scaled face. "Whatever happens," Sarah said softly, "I want you all to know how grateful I am. You took a chance on a strange human girl, and together, we've changed the course of galactic history." Professor Zixlorn drifted closer, his gaseous form glowing with pride. "My dear Miss Chen, I believe it is we who should be grateful. You've shown us all what's possible when we open our minds to new perspectives." After what seemed like an eternity, the High Arbiter's voice resonated through the chamber once more. "The Council has reached a decision. Sarah Chen's proposal for a collaborative initiative between Earth and the galactic community is approved, with conditions." A wave of excitement swept through the chamber as the Arbiter outlined the terms of the agreement. Earth would be granted provisional membership in the Galactic Alliance, with full integration to be reassessed after a probationary period. The enhanced wormhole would remain open, but under strict monitoring and control protocols. As the session concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by a whirlwind of alien diplomats and scientists, all eager to discuss the possibilities of this new era of cooperation. But amidst the excitement, she noticed Dean Pontorus beckoning her and her core team to a private antechamber. Once they were alone, the Dean's expression grew serious. "You've achieved something remarkable today, Miss Chen, but I fear your greatest challenges still lie ahead." Sarah's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" Professor Zixlorn's form shimmered with concern. the knowledge you gained from the quantum fissure. It's changing you, Sarah. Your perception of reality is expanding beyond normal parameters. We've seen it in your brainwave patterns, Lyria added, her wings drooping slightly. You're evolving, becoming something more. Sarah felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Is that dangerous? The dean shook his head. Not inherently, but it makes you a person of great interest to many powerful entities across the galaxy. Some will seek to study you, others to control you. And there are ancient forces stirring that we don't fully understand. Zarkon stepped forward, his voice uncharacteristically gentle. What the dean is trying to say, human, is that your journey is far from over. The path ahead will be fraught with danger and discovery. Sarah took a deep breath, looking around at the diverse group of aliens who had become her closest friends and allies. Then we'll face it together. Whatever comes next, I know we're stronger as a team. Globthor extended a pseudopod, gently touching Sarah's hand. Always, friend Sarah. Your quest is our quest. As they prepared to face the waiting crowd of diplomats and reporters, Sarah felt a surge of excitement and purpose. She had come to the stars seeking knowledge and adventure. Now she stood at the threshold of a new era for humanity and the entire galactic community. The mysteries of the quantum fissure, the ancient forces stirring in the cosmos, and the untapped potential of cooperation between diverse species, all of these challenges and more awaited them. But with her friends by her side and the support of the Galactic Academy, Sarah Chen was ready to embrace her destiny as a bridge between worlds. As they stepped out to face the future, Sarah's mind expanded once more, touching the vast quantum web that connected all things. In that moment, she glimpsed the infinite possibilities that lay ahead, a universe of wonders waiting to be explored, and a journey that was only just beginning. The story of Sarah Chen, the human girl who changed the galaxy, was far from over. In fact, it was just getting started.